China's lies are more dangerous than ever. Let's think about this for a second. Being an honest person or being a person that lies significantly changes the way that people perceive you. As an example, in America, I'm sure you've heard, we had a president, Abraham Lincoln, and for whatever reason, right, they called him Honest Abe. Being an honest person was something that they put on him, something that was seen as being something good, something noble. And this was something that they did for a president, right? So being honest is very important in today's world. Now, whether or not you want to get into the argument of politicians being honest or truthful is another thing. But one thing is for sure, and that is that China definitely lies about a lot of different things. And it's not really a situation of being unheard of, but there's a difference. There are situations where lies become little things, become big things, and cause major problems. And we've actually seen this in history before. As an example, why would the Titanic, need more rescue boats? Because it's an unsinkable ship, right? Well, of course, we know what happened there. As an example, have you seen the TV show Chernobyl, which is a great TV show, right? A show about how a government essentially lies in an effort to hide itself, right? You think, oh, well, these nuclear power plants, they can't explode. That's impossible. Something like this could never happen, right? A catastrophe like this could never happen because the government in Russia they have optimal oversight and whatever, right? And then a nuclear power plant explodes, essentially affecting the entire world, right? We've seen this happen before. And the reason that this happens is because you have this weird paradox where you have honest people, and honest people get silenced. In Chernobyl, the TV series, that's actually what happened. You have an honest scientist that is like, hey, not only does this happen, is it possible, but it did happen. And the government goes through many ways to silence him, to quiet him. And that's what we see today, right? What we see today with China, as an example, is the people that are honest, right, are being silenced. And where are they doing this? Whether it be on the news, on the internet, in books, in journals, in magazines, the honest people are being silenced, right? They're being silenced. And why would they do that? And that is because, just like in Chernobyl, the government must sustain itself. It must protect itself. And you have this issue where no one at the bottom wants to go to someone above them and complain, because they realize that in these political systems that people are rewarded upon their success mostly, but they're also killed when they're not successful. And that is what happens. So you have this situation even in China where, when you see a lot of state and local level people, they lie, right? They don't want to complain to the higher ups because they're afraid of having their heads cut off. And you see this in China every single day now. And China lies to people. What they do is they lie to countries and say, hey, we're doing this Belt and Road Initiative and that we're here to help you. And that's a lie, because it's not real. What it is they actually want to fund themselves, to help themselves, to build trade and create debt traps for themselves. It's a lie, right? But these are malicious lies. And something like maybe the Titanic or something like Chernobyl, those were accidents, right? Accidents that went wrong, and then the lie continued. But what do you do when the lie is not accidental? And we've actually seen that happen before too. As an example, with Auschwitz, could you imagine how killing people, gassing them per se, however they're killed, is not accepted in society really anywhere in the world? There is no country, no society where murdering people is just seen as an okay thing. But it happened. And the reason that it happened was because the people lied. And when they lied, they made it seem okay. Anytime someone came up and said, that's bullshit, that's a lie, they were silenced, or they were killed, or their rank was removed, or whatever it may be. They were outcasted. And it got to the point to where there were no more honest people. Because again, honest people are the ones that keep society driven. And what happened was they ran out of honest people. And that's how an atrocity like Auschwitz was actually allowed to happen, when you ran out of honest people. And all you had were these people that were willing to lie to themselves, people that were willing to commit atrocities for their government. That's actually what happened. And we see that happening again today. Now, of course, it hasn't happened yet, so we think. There are evidence, of course, about the Uyghurs and Xinjiang in China and things like that happening. But the question is how far is it willing to go? We notice now that China, again with the Belt and Road Initiative, how China lies about that. We know how China threatens all the time about Taiwan, and that they'll never really attack, but Taiwan is a part of China. And there's that, there are so many things that we see happening now, how they're getting these shills and these people and pushing them into Western media to portray these lies to the rest of the world, right? Because they've already created this idea within their own country. They've already perpetuated and brainwashed all these people into believing these things. So the next ordeal is to get the rest of the world to believe the lies. And there are too many, as of right now, honest people that will not fall for that, right? So it's a very dangerous thing. You have this situation of, that's what happened with Hitler, was where he realized that they've convinced enough people that they could actually go to war, but they haven't convinced enough people that they could claim victory. And this is really the frustration of China. They have convinced a lot of people in their country that what they're doing is right. These people don't know any better. They've been born into this. They're continuing that lie. They're believing that lie. They're pushing that lie. And then the next thing is where do you go from there? Well, you're going to have a hard time convincing the Western world, the rest of the world. So what do? Well, there's nothing you can do at that point. So it will have to be through force, which is where the danger comes. Are you going to attack Taiwan? Are you going to attack Vietnam? Are you going to attack the Philippines for their land? And are you going to attack Japan, for the Nanjing massacre that happened, years ago, and you're still going to hold on to that? That is the question. But we don't know. But what we do know is that the lies have been placed, and that this is what they're trying to do now. And we've seen it all happen before, and now we're seeing it again with Russia, a country that China supports. Russia has invaded Ukraine. They have used these excuses of Nazis and whatever they may be as an excuse to invade, to bomb, to kill, school children and these types of things. And China supports them, right? Maybe not openly, because, again, they know that they don't have that support. But China does support them. They support them quietly. And then what will happen is, the dangerous part is that China will start to gain enough support until it believes that it can do the same thing. And then China will attack Taiwan. China will attack the Philippines or Vietnam or one of these weaker countries. The only thing that has really stopped China from doing it, in my opinion already, is the fact that the United States opposes it. That people like Nancy Pelosi have went to Taiwan. That, these other countries like the Philippines, like Vietnam, like Japan, have militaries. And even though they may not be the strongest militaries, having something is better than nothing. And that they have stood up for themselves already. You see, that's why China's lies are more dangerous than ever, because they're doing what we've seen in the past and planning for an attack on the world. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.